Hello students, now we are going to see the topic mathematical model of physical systems. In the last session we have discussed about the concept of transfer functions and we did some we considered examples RL, RL series circuit, RLC series circuit, and we have derived the transfer function. So here the mathematical model of physical systems, we are going to see there are two systems. We are going to write a mathematical model. Mathematical model is nothing but getting transfer function. How we are getting the transfer function? By writing a differential equations. So first we have to represent the given physical system in terms of differential equations. Next we have to apply Laplace transforms. Next we have to get the transfer function. Transfer function is nothing but the ratio of Laplace transform of output to the Laplace transform of input. Okay. So first we'll see what is transfer function. Already we discussed, but I'm going to write here. So first, a control system. A control system is a collection of physical objects connected together to serve an objective. So here the mathematical model of a control system consists a set of differential equations. The response or output of a system can be studied by solving the differential equations for various input conditions. So here actually we have to consider the transfer function by taking zero initial conditions. So here we are deriving the transfer function with zero initial conditions. Okay, so again I'm discussing a mathematical model of a control system. A mathematical model of a control system constitutes a set of differential equations. A set of differential equations. Okay, here the output or response of a system can be analyzed by solving the differential equations with different initial conditions or different input conditions. And here I am saying that the transfer function definition is nothing but Laplace transform of output by Laplace transform of input. Here one condition we have to consider. That condition is with zero initial conditions. So here I am considering zero initial conditions. If zero initial conditions are there, then the system is linear time invariant system. Linear time invariant system. For linear time variant systems, the initial conditions are not zero, because the name itself it is saying linear time variant. They are varying with respect to time. So we should not consider the zero initial conditions. Zero initial conditions are considered for linear time invariant, because here we are analyzing the system by considering it as a linear time invariant, and later we are going to apply these procedure for practical control systems. Some practical control systems are linear time variant systems, and there we have to consider initial conditions. Okay, so here linear time invariant. The linear time invariant systems are having the quotients of the differential equations are constant. Quotients of the differential equations as constants. Linear time variant. Here the quotients of the differential equations are not constants, they are variable, they are varying with respect to time, varying with respect to time. Okay, so this is just introduction to the transfer function. Now we are going to see the mathematical model for two types of systems. There are two types of systems. First one is mechanical translational systems. Second one is mechanical rotational systems. Okay, so later we are going to discuss about mechanical rotational systems. So first one is mechanical translational systems. So here the model of mechanical translational systems can be obtained by considering three basic elements. By considering three basic elements. First one mass, second one dashpot, and third one spring. Okay, mass, dashpot and spring. So here the weight of the mechanical system, the weight of the mechanical system is represented by the element mass, and it is assumed that the mass or the weight is concentrated on the center of the element. And second one, what is the second one? Dashpot. Okay, so dashpot, we are going to discuss the dashpot in terms of friction. The friction existing in a system is represented by element that is dashpot. Next, last one is spring. It is nothing but the elastic deformation of the body. Spring is the elastic deformation of the body, can be represented by a element spring. Spring means which is having compression and expansion. That is nothing but elasticity of the body. So that can be represented by spring. So the mechanical translational system can be represented by using three basic elements: mass, dashpot, spring. Mass is represented with capital M, dashpot is represented with capital B, and spring is represented with capital K. Okay, so here when you force is applied on a translational mechanical system, it is opposed by opposing forces due to mass, dashpot and spring, or the total system is depending upon Newton's second law of motion. Newton's second law of motion. What is Newton's second law of motion? It states that the sum of applied forces, the sum of applied forces is equal to the sum of opposing forces on a body. Okay, I am having a body, or I can say that it is a mechanical translational system. For this I am applying a force Fm, because it is having three basic elements, mass, dashpot and spring. If I apply a force on mass, dashpot and spring, or total the mechanical translational system, they will oppose this force, and because they are having some forces, these are the opposing forces, not Fm. This is applied force capital F. Then opposing force offered by this mass element will be Fm. The opposing force offered by this one will be Fb, and here it is Fk. So it is applying force and this is opposing force. So according to Newton's second law of motion, applying force is always equal to the opposing forces, or the sum of all forces acting on a body equal to 0. Both are same. This one equal to this one, or this one plus this one equal to 0. If these two are equal, if I add it together, I will get the resultant as a 0 force. So this is a Newton's second law of motion. Now we are going to see each and every element individually, that is mass, dashpot and spring elements, by writing a force balanced equation. So what is force balanced equations? Force balance equations of ideal elements. Okay, ideal elements. So first I am drawing like this. This is capital M. This is a force I am applying, and this is displacement, like this. This is ideal mass element capital M, and its weight is always acting upon the center of the body. If I apply some force on any body, it will have some displacement, that is represented by x. Okay, so now consider an ideal mass element as shown in figure, which has negligible friction and elasticity. That is, I am considering it as a ideal mass element, means there is no B and K. Here B and K are neglected because mass is considered as ideal element. Mass is considered as ideal element. The mass, then if I apply a force F in this direction, consider just let a force be applied on it. then the mass will offer an opposing force which is proportional to the acceleration of the body. Okay, if force F is applied, then mass will offer force which is proportional to acceleration of the body, and it is mathematically represented as Fm directly proportional to d square x by dt square. So if I remove the proportionality constant, I will get capital M, because given considered element is an ideal mass element. So proportionality constant, if I remove, I'll get a mass element. So the opposing force is always proportional to the acceleration. Acceleration is nothing but displacement. We have to consider twice the differentiation of the displacement. Okay, d square x by dt square. Fm is a opposing force offered by mass element. And what is the force we are applying on mass element? F is a applied force on mass element. Okay, so by Newton's second law, what is Newton's second law? The applied force is always equal to the opposing force. F is equal to Fm, that is equal to m into d square x by dt square. Similarly, we have to conclude, we have to get this differential equations for ideal, dashpot and spring. So consider now dashpot element. We have to draw force balanced equation, that is by considering a dashpot element is represented by like this. A force is applied on this, so it will displace in this direction. If I apply the force in the same direction, the displacement will be taken by the element. So this is ideal dashpot. If I consider ideal dashpot, what about M and K? M and A both are neglected because considered element is ideal dashpot element. So if force applied on dashpot, then what will happen? Then dashpot offer an opposite force which is proportional to velocity of the body. Before it is acceleration of the body and this is velocity of the body, that is Fb is directly proportional to dx by dt. If I remove the proportionality constant, what I will get? Dashpot dx by dt. So by Newton's second law, what we can say, applied force is equals to opposing force is equal to b into dx by dt, where Fb is the opposing force offered by the dashpot element and F is the applied force on dashpot element. Next, third one is spring. So before going to see the third one, here I may have here second force force balanced equation for dashpot. There is second chance. I may have the diagram like this. Then how to draw a force balanced equation like this? B, if I apply the force in this direction, it will have the displacement x1 and here it will have the displacement x2. If I am having two displacement for the single dashpot element, then what is the force balanced equation? So simply, when a dashpot has displacement at both ends, dashpot has displacements at both ends, then the opposing force is proportional to differential velocity. Okay, so differential velocity is nothing but the difference between the two displacements, but they are having differential term d by dt of x1 minus x2. So fb is equal to b into dx1 by dt minus dx2 by dt, or we can write b into d by dt of x1 minus x2. This is for dashpot. And what is the third element? Third element is spring. So similarly, you have to consider ideal spring element like this. If I apply the force, if I am having the displacement x. Similarly, you can consider the second case. If I apply the force, I may have the two displacement. I am having the two displacements at the two edges, and this is ideal ideal spring element. If I consider it as an ideal spring element, what about mass and dashpot? Both are considered as neglected elements. Then if I apply a force on a spring element, then the opposing force offered by the spring element is directly proportional to the displacement, that is x. Okay, opposing force Fk is directly proportional to displacement, that is Fk is directly proportional to x. If I remove the proportionality constant, I will have kx. But according to Newton's second law, applied force is equal to opposite forces, that is kx. So here Fk is the opposing force offered by the spring element. F is the applied force on the ideal spring element. So similarly, if I am having two displacements at the edge ends, so how to write the force balanced equation? So Fk is directly proportional to the difference between the two displacements. So Fk is equal to k into x1 minus x2. So F is equal to Fk is equal to k into x1 minus x2. So like this, we have obtained three force balanced equations for the three ideal elements. Okay, so here I want to describe 5 important points to determine the transfer function of the mechanical translational system. Key points to determine transfer function. Okay, for mechanical translational system, first one is what we have to do, write the differential equations. So like this. So here write the differential equations or force balanced equations at the nodes in the system. Generally the nodes are nothing but mass elements in a system. We may have, for a given translational system, we may have 2 or 3 mass elements, or 2 or 3 dashpots and springs. So depending upon that given mechanical translational systems, we have to write the differential equations. Differential equations is nothing but force balanced equations. Okay, so just now we have written up force balanced equations for ideal mass, spring and dashpots. So like that we have to write the differential equations. Okay, for each and every elements, number of nodes is equal to number of mass elements. And second point is, we have to consider here that the linear displacement of a masses are assumed as x1, x2, x3, that is dx by dt as velocity, d square x by dt square as acceleration. And next one, draw the free body diagrams of a system. Okay, later we are going to discuss what are the free body diagrams. We have to draw the free body diagram of a system, and a free body diagram is obtained by drawing each mass element separately, then marking all the forces. All the forces means for a system we are having applied forces and opposing forces. So we have to mark all forces acting on a system or acting on a node. Next, fourth point is, for each free body diagram write one differential equation by equating sum of applied forces to the sum of opposing forces. It means we have to apply Newton's second law. And fifth one is, take the Laplace transform of the differential equations. Okay, so by maintaining these 5 points we can easily write, or we can easily get the transfer function of the mechanical translational system. Thank you.